So, yeah, Bryan Johnson. You ever heard of this guy?
Uh, no, no,
Okay.
I have
So
not.
he is the focus of a Netflix documentary called "Don't Die," I believe. And this guy made his bazillions through financial services online, something like that. And now it's basically rich people hobbies where you spare no cost at vitamins or therapies or injections to keep you young. And this guy, who's a former Latter Day Saint, he kind of talks about this through this documentary. Now, I fell into the wormhole here, Jeff. I did not expect to watch this whole thing, but I was just working at my desk. I turned it on, and as you may know, in the Netflix app, you can speed it up. So I watched it at 1.5 speed that kept it moving, and got through it. And it was interesting. It wasn't there was actually a lot of references to the church in the documentary about his early life, and he was just a very committed Latter Day Saint, all in, did all the things. But that led to some depression. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't diagnose these things, but it almost sounded very similar to maybe some scrupulosity he was dealing with of really trying to be uber perfect. And I think some of that scrupulosity spilled over to his current life because he has a lot of critics online as far as what he's doing. But anyways, he left the church, divorces his wife. He was estranged from his kids and parents for a while, and then one of his sons moved in with him, and that's the focus of the documentary. But anyways, just these crazy therapies that he does, this online movement, this Don't Die movement. They do hikes, and he's got products, and that's where the accusations come that maybe he's just trying to profit off of these things. Um, but but then there's like this reference. He mentions it in this article. It says Richard, Johnson's father, says that as a child, his son really wanted to be like Mormon leader Joseph Smith. He's clearly obsessed with leaving a high impact legacy regardless of the way. It just so happens that investing millions of dollars into an extension of his life and becoming an influencer of sorts along the way is the method that stuck. My goal here isn't to make the argument, though, it's impossible that the documentary just did a really good job convincing me of Johnson's innocence. But I think it goes deeper than that. The argument that Johnson is trying to become God implies this idea that he's trying to gain power over the world so that he can exercise control over the pace of aging and nature itself. So,
Wow.
really eccentric guy. I don't know if I'd recommend the documentary. I mean, if you got nothing to watch, maybe give it a go. But yeah, another. It's been a lot of work. I hope that Hollywood thanks the Latter Day Saint community for single handedly carrying media on our back from all the different documentaries and Hulu series that we're the only reason they're staying in business. But
Yeah, it's nice to have a documentary that's not about like some violent,
yeah,
person.
it's about a crazy person instead.
Yeah.
This is wonderful who wants to be God. So, but yeah,
That is interesting. I was going to ask you was there any what was the LDS sort of
yeah.
psychological connection, and do you think that would be it, kind of like the preoccupation with eternal life or something?
Yeah, that seemed to be what they were alluding to, and mainly, I think it just shows that he was in this rigid, faith community, and then kind of got out of that, and now he's doing all these things. So I think it was pretty fair. Like they weren't trying to demonize him while also showing a lot of the criticism online. But yeah, I was surprised. It's not like a ton of the interview, but it does show him pictures of going to church, and he looked completely different compared to how he does now, where you know he's
Oh
lost
yeah.
a lot of weight and obviously takes care of his body maybe a bit too much. But
Yeah, yeah.
so
He does look a little bit mannequin-y, I
yeah,
think.
he almost looks like he's The Walking Dead. I mean, obviously very fit. He's got the abs. He's obviously exercising, but very pale, and his hair kind of doesn't look right. I don't know. Bless his
Yeah,
heart. I'm glad he's found a passion in life that keeps him going. But
interesting.
so.